All right. So, welcome to episode 3 of Knights and Gnats. We're going to be starting with a brief-ish recap of last session. It was a little dense. We had run a little over time, so bear with me that. And then we're going to jump into the narrative that will tie into today's session and then get started. So, without further ado, last session, the party watched on as the tremendous monstrosity breached the fog outside of the city of Agrevorn. And then they watched as it resubmerged back into the mists that had been surrounding the city. 20 soldiers were dispatched into the mists and were swiftly slain by the beast. But the party was skeptical if the fallen soldiers remained fallen. They departed the ramparts and encountered an elderly tiefling woman that was ferried down from the mountains on high above them that the city surrounds by wyverns in an assisted carriage. She identified herself as Amara and handed the party 2 pieces of paper. One appeared to be a handwritten warning by the blind old woman, and the other was an invitation from her masters. The party then returned to their inn that they had found, the Generous Skillet, and rested for the night. Ren cooked for the party, and Bimbly sat watch. Meanwhile, Seth departed to the south with Fina the Wench on his own little mission. He donned a hatted disguise, turning into a sergeant's missing sister, and attempted to tell the sergeant that he had returned her. Unfortunately, he had forgotten that he would have to mimic her voice should he need to speak as the woman, Sarah Haversham. And he was very close to failing a series of checks when an NPC, Fina the Wench, revealed that she had an imp familiar, and she was able to deceive Sergeant Caden through performance by speaking through that imp. So Seth has lived to lie again and again, and he did so shortly after to the party. However, not before heading into a hedge maze that was outside of Mask's temple on the southern side of, I almost said Sangorn, of Agrevorn. There, he found that he was magically locked within. Fina the Wench had dropped her disguise, revealing that she was actually Teresa Saffron. She led him to the center, where there was a man waiting for Seth, with searing blue eyes and broken, bloodied wings. He reminded Seth that they were foes, but made a request of him. He was to bring the boy Teth to this place, and in return, he would spare Seth's father's life, who he claimed he had. He also claimed that goddess Shar, Seth's favorite deity of the month, managed to spare his brother from the same fate. He also delivered a message from his goddess that warned Scott/Seth of bonding with people. Then he smote Seth and had Teresa return him to his allies back at the Golden Skillet. Meanwhile, during this rest, Bimbly had a visit from an Oblex, an ooze creature that appears to be able to retain memories from people. He appears to reside within Bimbly's armor and took the appearance of a tiefling named Castor, which if you've been watching the narratives, you have a little bit of knowledge of. His ability to impersonate him and absorb those memories has endeared the creature, apparently, to Bimbly. He offered up an opportunity for Bimbly to strike it down to kill it, but Bimbly refused to do so. After the long rest, the party headed south and did some investigating of the Inventors Guild. They gained access to the shielded realm through means of offered note sharing and perhaps returning spoons that might have been duplicated somewhere along the way. Not important. Here the party discovered that the rune master by the name Christoph Haversham had gone missing several weeks ago, and his roommate, Solomon Crux, had discovered a fragment of something that had fallen from the sky, and a portal in their bedchambers led to a grisly scene and a following battle with the party with a ghost that appeared to have taken a malevolent form of Solomon Crux and a violent yellow ooze. They scraped by the battle and went to investigate the cocoon of ooze that they had initially come to investigate, and Thok shredded it open, discovering the goopy remains of Sarah Haversham, who Seth has assured the sergeant that she is alive, the medic from Canvastown. And as Thok attempted to pull her out, he accidentally dismembered her and then decided to pull her head out as well because he wanted to get to the periapt of disease protection around her neck. And as he pulled on the head, it detached. She looked at him and blinked. And that is where we ended the last session. So
does that mean Seth wasn't technically lying? She is in some form alive.
So Seth told the party that she's dead, but Seth told the sergeant that she's alive.
So Seth still managed to lie to at least someone and guarantee that not everyone is being told the truth. All right.
So yes, the party did anticipate her being dead, and that is mostly due to the fact that Seth has told the party that she's dead. But unfortunately, Seth has also told Sergeant Caden, her brother, that she is alive, and he proved as much through some fancy disguising of magic. So we're gonna see where that goes. And I'm gonna bring up a stream in the stream for you guys to get the narrative. My goodness. My option's not there. Hang tight. Bear with me.
No worries. Oh, Pupper.
Gabe, what color was the ooblex that interacted with Bimbley?
I can show you a picture. It's actually kind of adorable.
It's goo color.
It's
really
Ditto from Pokemon.
Minus the
derpy face.
Pink. Yeah, no, it's
I thought you said it was pink.
I think it's green.
Oh.
Well, you put those together, you've got a purple dinosaur. Gabe has that problem of too many D&D books behind him.
I've also got some books already out for tonight. Not that that's of any concern
Oh yeah.
to anyone.
Which ones, Gabe? Which ones?
I guess technically you'll know in a moment.
I guess.
Tell us your secrets.
No! You'll have to find out organically.
But I'm not organic.
That's true. But the small monsters you ferry around in your armor are. Aha. Here we go.
Ooh.
Yummy. Cool.
Ugh.
Yeah.
So it's a little green feller.
Mm-hmm.
It is kind of cute.
Yeah, right? That's what I thought.
Minus the skeleton. The look of death and destruction.
I selected it for its cuteness. I was like, Ash won't just kill this immediately, right? I think it was a close call. I think you did stab it, actually. Yeah, you did, because it grabbed you by the shoulder and tried to pull you back. And you just stabbed right behind you. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Any luck?
Yeah, I think. I'm not the savviest with...
Discord things.
Okay, movies and TV.
We're getting there.
All right, it's up. Let's hope it works. And again, give me a thumbs up or down if
I'm in.
If there's a difficulty hearing something.
What? Got him.
He's channeling his Seth. He can't stop trolling. Okay, 5 in. All right, here we go. Drea hefted her blade with an air of familiarity and moved out of the alcove. As she did, the pallid moss draped around the archway let out a melancholic chorus.
It barely registered in the back of her mind as her rage grew. These people threatened her home. For that alone, she was willing to slay them where they stood. The masked individuals in the grand banquet hall turned toward her as one. They reached within their garbs and drew wicked curved blades and began marching toward her. She fell into a ready pose with the monster sword leveled horizontally toward them. But Amara pulled her away by the thin white dress she was regrettably still wearing. Reluctantly, she allowed her caretaker to pull her away. The two of them spirited their way out of the hall and up a spiral stairwell that Drea knew would wind its way up into the clouds, to a chamber that she had never been before. The winding march was becoming dizzying in the narrow hall. Drea kept her blade at the ready, rushing up the steps, ignoring the burn in her arms and legs. Until something made her stop in her tracks, as the door had just come into view. Amara ran to it and began to fiddle with a key she pulled from her beehive of graying hair. "Sister!" came a cry from below, followed by the clamoring of weapons and footsteps. Drea turned instantly and ran downward. She saw Castor in a sea of masks, limbs working in a frenzy, pulling him back and down until she could no longer make him out in the crowd. She saw the blades falling with quick, rapid strikes. She saw blood spraying in agonizing detail. She screamed, not with fear or even anger. It was frenzied desperation, thoughtless, guttural, and ravenous. The first two she came upon with a downward flourish. The blow cleaved their masks asunder, leaving them petrified in instantaneous death. She followed her momentum and reversed her grip, allowing the bottom of the blade's edge to press into her next victim. She twisted with her entire frame, making the blade rend downward, over the man's sternum with a sickly sloosh. She spun and danced, allowing the blade to sing through the air in wild arcs, only stalling the song with the quenching of another foe's life. But they kept coming. Castor kept getting pulled deeper and deeper into the crowd, his lifeless form fleeting from her vision. With every body, she piled in the stairwell after him.
All right. So,
Damn.
without further ado, this time truthfully, let me get some music playing. And as we have set the scene already, you guys are in that small cavern. It's probably 40 feet in a diameter, a circle, dome-like ceiling, just natural cavern. At the far end, there was the cocoon of ooze that broke open. Thok is standing before it with Sarah Haversham's disembodied gooey form in his hands and across his feet. And also in the corner, well, not really corner, but over to the right of the party, there is the still form of a woman, Tatia Mona. She was on the floor, unconscious perhaps, or at the very least unmoving during the battle. And naturally, the portal behind you guys that you had come through is still there and open. All right. Thok,
Yes.
what would you like to do?
I kind of just look at the head that I have in my hands and I speak to her as Sarah Haversham. Are you there?
The eyes blink, but you are not certain if there is actual...
Life there?
Yeah, let's go with life.
This is not good. Well, let us try to recover more of her if we can. Then I'll reach into the cocoon, see if I could, just try to see if I can get up at least like the torso to see if the periapt is still there.
All right. Would anyone else like to do anything before I jump into this description?
I'm all the way at the back, so I don't really see a whole lot of this. I'm just going to start walking forward.
Okay. All right.
Kevin just kind of slumps down and is just eating berries. He's really got roughed up in that last combat, so...
Okay. All right. Thok, you get right up in there. I mean, you've got to go elbow deep in this goop pile. You're sort of like shifting, like you're spreading the ichor, that goo, and it's like as soon as you move your hands out, it slowly starts to grow back, kind of like pancake batter, but with glue in it, maybe. Except it's like a pink hue, like human mass was. Anyway, so you're pulling chunks out, and you do manage to get most of a torso before it like slides off the rib cage, kind of like ribs that have been in the crock pot for too long. I think like last week. And you don't see a periapt, believe it or not.
Okay.
At this point, also, Tatia Mona begins to stir. She sort of just rolls over and sits up slowly and starts to look around. And she looks visibly shaken, very terrified, and also melancholic, a little sad.
I'll hold onto the head, but I'll walk over to Tatia Mona and try to help her off the floor.
Thok, you approach this distraught woman, arms covered in just viscera and general human mucus, bile, etc. And you offer your hands out to her?
One, because I have the head kind of tucked under an arm.
Naturally, like a football. Okay. She takes your hand. Nope, I'm not gonna have you make a check. You do pull her up. She looks at her hand with more sadness than before, but she appears to be appreciative of the gesture.
What's happened here?
I'm not sure. I thought I was sleeping. I had another nightmare. Like the one before when you saved Tef. I'm starting to think that they might not be nightmares.
What did you see?
Just like the rhyme of the Oni. Only this time it was worse. I reached out to Sarah. She had pulled me away from the trench. She had been cut badly, and the periapt she had on kept her alive, but it wasn't healing her. I reached out to heal her, and I did. But it cost something. Everything I do costs something. Leave me here to rot.
And as she says this, you guys have experienced something similar to this. This sort of pulse ripples across the cavern, and you can you're all rocked with her emotions, this sorrow and anger and regret. And as it rocks across the room, you look to the cocoon, and the goop begins to simmer and bubble.
All three of those emotions are super foreign to Kevin. So he's kind of having a panic attack right now. He's what?
Kevin turns into...
He just breaks down and he's just like bent over, just like shaking because he has no way to process sorrow.
Can I try to comfort Kevin?
Absolutely. How do you choose to do so?
I'll just walk over to him and kind of hunch down next to him. He's probably very small, and just put an arm around him and be like, it's okay, bud. You're gonna be fine.
Just kind of sitting there and just sort of shivering with those weird feelings that he's never felt before.
Okay.
Can I run over to Tatia and say, Tatia, do you know what's going on with that pile of goop over there?
She looks at it. She looks back to you, and she says,
I don't think it likes to feel emotion. I don't know.
Are we in danger, Tatia?
Very possibly. You shouldn't be here. If you can't withstand the sickness.
And neither should you. Let's go out through this portal. There's a safe place we can talk.
I don't know if I can. The last time I came here, I infected everyone.
Tatia, what do you mean you infected everyone?
I think it was me, the rest of my dream.
She gathers herself for a moment and says,
I heard a voice, gravelly and angry. It told me to heal the men that had fallen in the mists. I remember walking about, finding them. They were broken, and I tried.
and she sort of tries to like stomp on the ground a little bit, like in frustration, but she's very weak at the same time. And she says,
There were 20 of them, I think. And then I awoke here.
Tatia, do your dreams create realities?
Scott,
Yep.
are you typing?
Oh shit, yeah.
Hard typing.
I don't think they create realities. I hope not. I think someone's commanding me.
Okay. Could be that monster we saw over the city.
It could be.
Tatia, we feel your emotions. I'm looking over at Kevin here, and he's just collapsed. How are you doing that?
I'm afraid it's a side effect of my magic.
And I'm sorry to ask you so many questions in your state right now, but what did you mean everything has a cost that you do?
I have the ability to heal great wounds, sicknesses, but it isn't pure. Whoever I heal, someone else must become ill.
Are you sure you can't leave this place? Is there no other exit but the portal?
I think I can leave, just I don't want to go into the city. I can't be the cause of more grief.
I think there may be a way to help. There's a person here who might be able to help.
I would go through the portal, but I need to be quarantined. I can't see anyone. Even those of you that are here risk everything. You're not safe.
I think we could manage to keep you safe.
It's not me I'm worried about.
And as she says this, the oozes that Thok had been digging through begin to lurch forward, creeping toward the portal.
Oh, hell no. All right, let's
There
go.
are 5 of them. So I want each, it's 5 pieces, so like an arm, a torso, and it's like the ooze that you had sort of seen like bubbling. It's now like growing together and lurching forward and pulling its mass behind it, kind of like a slug-like motion.
Well, enough with that shit. Bimbley's gonna get up and go over and try to kick the ooze like back away from the portal and pick up the orb thingy while he turns to the party and goes, "We should leave Tatia Mona. There is already a quarantine bubble up. Let's go."
Tatia nods in agreement and begins to saunter, I guess, toward the portal.
So the five oozes are moving towards the portal right now.
Yeah, they're like slugging their way over there.
Okay.
Go ahead, Bryce.
Everyone through. Doc, can you grab Tatia?
Of course.
All right. Thok, you grab Tatia with your disgusting slimed gauntlets. She regrettably just looks at the mess you're leaving on her arm, but she prefers life. So you all leave this place together, jumping through the portal one by one. Bimbley, I'm kind of assuming you're the last through. You give the ooze one last kick.
Yeah, sure.
You hear it go as it slides across the floor. Okay. And then you hop through the portal as well. And you guys are returned to the uppermost floor of the Inventors Guild. Now, you're in that bedchamber. There's like scorch marks and force, like divots, chunks taken out of the wall from like magic missiles that soared through this ethereal creature that you guys had done battle with in here. And half the party hadn't seen that. So there's evidence of a struggle, and there are two gnomes now locked in a tussle. It's Terrence Stillings and his old mentor, Reginald Fluffinright, as they have been battling over a certain notebook that Terrence stole. However, more importantly, what they're doing, it almost looks like two ancient children just like locked arm in arm, and they have this box, this ornate wooden box in their hands, and you can hear Terrence screaming, "I have to release the spoons!" And Reginald's like, "No, you must put them back!" And then finally it breaks open, and the box just allows these spoons to come rattling across the floor. They're just everywhere. And as the party comes out, you are in the upper floor of this one-time astronomy observers area with these spoons on the ground and these two gnomes just in a heap on the ground.
I am, as soon as I get through the portal and everyone's through, I'm kind of frantically like looking to see if I could find a way to close the portal.
Make an Arcana check.
Oh yeah.
This spoon subplot is so much richer than I ever imagined it would be.
21.
Oh shit, okay. All right, Aura. Not only do you know how... Oh, my bad. Ren. Sorry, that's a previous campaign name. Wow, that just really came right out. That just flowed. Okay, Ren. You not only do you know how this portal works, this is like rudimentary magic for you. You just casually walk over to the side, you reach behind, and you like flip a switch, and the portal begins to, unfortunately, not immediately dissipate. Instead, it's sort of like wobbling and like fizzing as it begins to shut down, and something does begin to lurch through it. You see the ooze just like kind of slinky its way down out of the middle of the portal onto the ground. But as soon as it does, it lands on one of the spoons, and it sizzles and sears, and smoke starts to rise from it. The portal shuts snap, and the ooze just gets cut right in half. And it appears to be lying dormant.
We all saw the sizzle happen. Kevin will grab one of the spoons and start smacking the ooze that got cut off with it, just like over and over again, like just like he's playing it as an instrument almost. It's like
it appears. I mean, the ooze, it ceased movement the moment the portal snapped shut. But yeah, you're just sort of splattering it around, like spreading it, and it's sizzling with each slap.
I'm filled with pride.
What are these spoons made of? Is it silver?
Who are you asking?
The two gnomes, Reginald and Terrence.
Terrence shoves Reginald down again and stands up quickly, puffs his chest out. Pewter!
It seems particularly effective against the ooze.
It does indeed. That's why I needed them. I've been trying to get those spoons here for this moment. To protect you.
Oh.
Can I make an insight check on that?
Yes.
21.
Okay. Yeah, he sounds sincere.
Okay.
To you. Whether he was actually trying to get them here for you, you're not entirely sure. He seems to have known that they would have an effect. And he also, you get the feeling he knew that there was something going on in this particular chamber.
Okay.
Tatia Mona wipes some ooze off of her shoulder.
Can I bring another spoon over and see if it has any effect?
You may. All of the spoons do look identical. The ooze does appear to have since deceased. You might get like a little residual sizzle out of it, but at best that's it.
For science. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What about the head? Does it still have ooze on it?
Yeah, it's covered in a general goop.
Could we throw a spoon at the head?
Please
Absolutely.
don't.
Is it still tucked under Thok's arm? Are you doing this, Bimbley?
Yeah, sure, why not? Bibley picks up a spoon and he starts like airplane feeding the head.
Okay. I'm not going to make any noises associated with that. That would not be canon. But Bimbley indeed rides the carriage spoon into the mouth of... The memory of Sarah Haversham was supposed to be one of dignity, but as of late, unfortunately, it has not been. The spoon clicks against her teeth, and you hear it just begin to sort of sizzle and melt as the bottom of the jaw and the esophagus kind of... onto the floor.
All right.
Well, there goes any sense of peace that Sergeant Caden could have gotten from this.
The nose up is still identifiable-ish.
We could put a bandana on her.
Anyway, so what is your plan with the pewter spoons, Reginald?
Reginald stands up, dusts himself off, gives a dirty look to Terrence.
Well, I was unaware that they would have any effect. No one told me what they were for.
And Terrence, what was your thoughts on that?
I just know that they would be used well. I needed to get them here. To turn off the portal, I thought, but apparently you have a very capable wizard.
I didn't know these spoons also turned portals off.
Oh, they don't. I was just going to put them out in a row and hope anything that came out would just go back. It wasn't the best plan.
You think arms and armament can be made of these?
Unlikely. I don't think it's the actual metals that are doing any protecting.
What do you think it is?
What do you think it is?
I don't know. Why don't you look at the spoons?
I'll grab a spoon.
Okay, make an investigation check, please.
Me too. Yeah.
Anyone who would like to, there's plenty of spoons. There's like 30 spoons.
Let's spoon it up, boys and girls. Come on.
Ben, I thought you'd never ask.
Yeah.
9.
Okay. It's a beautiful spoon.
16.
8.
Okay.
14.
Seth,
8.
Bimbley.
10.
All right. So to 3 of you, these appear to be just standard pewter spoons. However, to the 2 astute fellows, Kevin and Ren, as you look over you're welcome. As you look over the spoons, you note that they all do appear to be near identical, but they were definitely handcrafted. Like you can tell that there's different sort of planes and etchings into them where they were pounded out. But however, at the very bottom of the handle of the spoons, almost microscopically, there is a rune in an ancient unknown language etched into it.
Is it the same language we've been seeing basically everywhere?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Can you describe the rune?
I cannot. I did not ask Ash to draw this one up. I know, it's my bad.
Kevin will
Here, wait, would you like one real quick?
20-minute speed draw. I mean, 20 second. No, not
20 minute. All right. Pause, everybody.
All right, we'll be back,
Bathroom
everyone.
break while Ash comes up with this.
We need this visual.
Yes.
Man.
The pressure's on. Let's all sit in silence and stare at Ash.
Yep.
No.
No.
Can I take one of the spoons over to Tatia and ask her, do you recognize what this is? And I'll try to point to the language that I see on the room.
Oh.
Wait, where is it? I can't get it close enough.
Perfect. It looks like that, everyone.
My
Kevin
camera
will
doesn't
convey-
like focusing on it.
There's a little picture on here. It kind of looks like a veiny pickaxe.
Sure.
Do all the spoons have like the same etching on it?
Yes. Yeah, they appear to. But to get back to Bryce real quick, because he had asked Tatia a question. She does. So, Bryce, let me ask you. In the manner of which you're asking her the question, are you trying to discern if she has like an intimate knowledge of this, or are you just generally curious?
I want to know if she knows the language.
Okay. She replies to you and says, it says sanctuary.
How do you know this language?
I was taught at a very young age. Or rather, gifted. It is not something you learn from scholars.
You were gifted it. Do you remember anything about who gifted it to you? These runes have been coming up, and they seem to be associated with life and healing. We don't know anything more about it.
His name was Terabon.
I shudder at the sound of the name.
Does anyone see that?
How obvious were you making that, Doc?
It's really obvious.
Okay, yeah, I'll no check required. You all notice it. Thok isn't one to stir easily. I would say even that Tatia, when she says the name, she even shudders, as though she's distasteful of the memory.
Thok, you seem to know that name.
I do. He was the Mai that I had hunted.
The angel-like creature?
Yes. Many men had fallen to him.
The same type of creature that we saw in the Underdark?
I believe so.
And they don't come from this plane?
No.
And they have their own language, and their own language has magical powers.
They have more than that.
Do tell.
They have bountiful magics about them, even in their mortal forms. They're hard to resist.
And exactly
Do you
why
remember
were you
when
hunting
you
an
fought?
angel? Why were you hunting an angel?
I don't know. That much was not given to me. I hunt all exotic creatures. It seemed like nothing out of the ordinary.
What were you going to ask, Bryce?
Oh, I forgot. But perhaps we can fit together a timeline of Thok, when you fought this creature, and Sarah, when you learned these magics. Was this long ago? Was it recent?
10 years ago?
Yeah, about.
Tatia says, when Tef came to me, about 12 years ago.
Hmm.
And I had my run-in about 10 years prior.
I'd not even heard of these creatures until, a few days ago when we saw one in the Underdark. Or has it even been less than that?
It seems they do not like to make themselves known until prophecy calls it forth.
Tatia, do you know how to inscribe these runes? Can you repeat this same symbol of sanctuary?
Unfortunately, I cannot. Tef has quite the gift with it. Unfortunately, any magics I perform with my bloodline come with a cost.
The same type of cost that we saw here with the ooze?
Perhaps. I don't know exactly. I just know that anytime I use my powers, they have side effects. It's been different every time. Something has called me here.
Have your magics always worked this way?
Yes, but I'm not able to control them. Only when I'm called upon from my dreams.
Speaking of Tef, do you know where he is?
I never made it back into the city.
Do you remember how you ended up in that cavern? And where even was that?
Sarah tried to pull me down through the trench. There was a cave in, the mists led us there.
So it was outside the city then, in that same trench.
I believe so. It seems there was a whole network underground.
This might have something to do with the memories journal that lie within the orb.
As Bimbley holds up the globe, the glowing arcanum, Reginald Fluffinright says,
Yes! A memory arcanum. That would be very helpful. We wouldn't touch it, but if you already have, I mean, it's probably no trouble to keep using it. Have you used it?
I believe so, yes.
Do you feel well?
I'm not exactly organic.
But do you... Our systems go?
Would you like to find out?
No, I don't want to touch that. I don't... Solomon Crux was a crotchety fellow. His assistant, Charles, has been missing for some time.
Either way, I can recite it, or you all can see for yourself. It didn't seem to have any ill effects other than trap.
Would anyone like to either take it or just ask Bimbley for the recital?
I'll take it.
Bimbley, can you... Go for it.
I cannot be killed. Hand it over.
I should have known that.
Seth walks over, grabs the globe. At this point, anyone who has interacted with the ooze in any way whatsoever, I would like a Constitution saving throw from you. So Kevin and Seth now.
Okay.
With that,
Ooh, big roll.
I was splashed by ooze. Does that count?
You're a little bit of a different case in the event of what this is trying to do.
21.
Do I still need to make one?
You have the periapt on, I think, Thok.
Yeah.
And Ren was very carefully toward the back of the room. He hasn't touched Tatia either.
I got 12 for con save.
Yeah.
Okay.
21 for Kevin.
Okay. Seth, I need you in every game I play so that someone's always finding out what goes wrong. Anyway, so I am not going to tell you guys whether you succeeded or failed on that. It's kind of a long...
Nothing happens.
Kind of like a slow burn deal.
You don't notice anything, but it gets a little tingly when you pee now.
You might want to sit down gingerly from now on. Anyway. So, where were we?
Seth picked up the
orb. All right. So, Bimbly, do you remember the memory? Would you like me to reread it?
I think I remember most of it.
Okay. I'll just tell you the ending, and you heard a voice that was gravelly and angry. Sorry, that was not what I meant to read. He gave you a couple timelines, talked about something falling out of the sky, and then said it sounded like he was having a discussion with something that you couldn't hear, talking about how it was hungry. Seth, you're holding the ooze-covered orb in your hands, and would you like to activate it?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So a voice fills your head. It's a different message this time, however.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that happened. I ate my lab assistant. Charles didn't taste half bad either. I kept thinking that I should not be enjoying this. This is Charles. Charles is not food. Oh, yes, right. Charles is food. Because we need to find the cosmic map. And you need your strength. Of course, I will avoid feelings. Yes, all plant-like materials. Strange.
And you come to again.
Okay. Well, I know where Charles is.
Do tell!
He's in the void now. It seems as though Solomon, right?
Perhaps, yes.
Whoever's memories these are, ate Charles.
Ate him.
Yes, as ATE8.
What else did you learn?
Well, whoever's memory this is has a voice in their head.
That is not quite the same message that I heard.
Perhaps you both heard different parts.
Perhaps
Seth,
something.
activate it again.
I'll activate it again. Sure.
Okay. Were you going to say something, Bimbly?
No, go for it.
Okay. All right, you activate it again, Seth?
Mm-hmm.
All right, round 2.
So, the purge of mankind is to take place, and it starts with me? Why does it matter if a Kevin has arrived? What is the Harbinger? Why are you in my mind, and how do I get you out? A construct? Who constructed you? Dumai? And they wish for me to do what? What's an interloper? The dormant titans? They'll use them to bring the end? Ah, yes, I see it clearly now.
All right.
I like thinking that Scott is just listening. He's just typing everything I say now.
I mean, I'm trying to.
Yeah.
Seth, what this time?
It's all riddles. Something about a cosmic map and Dumai. Although I did hear one thing that I've been saying for a long, long time. The end of the world's coming.
Of course, you would draw that conclusion.
The orb says so. What? Why don't you try it, Doc? What are you, afraid?
Hand it over.
All right, you hand it back to Thok. Thok, would you like to activate it?
As I have like one arm around a severed head,
Scott's
I'll
about as
hold the
helpful
orb.
as Kevin is.
Okay. All right. Thok, a voice thunders in your head. It's just pure chaos. It's, I don't want to make the portal into the city. I don't want to go down and create the Sibriacs. You can't make me. Yes. That's right, you can. Oh, I'm sorry. Poor Charles. Sometimes I still think about how good he tasted. I would like you to make a wisdom saving throw, as this just madness crashes into your mind.
6.
Okay.
Okay.
You do not feel great as you sort of, like, you guys watch Thok. He's got the severed head under one arm, the orb in the other, and he's just like, it looks like he's being electrocuted for a moment. His eyes are twitching and closed. And then you drop the orb to the ground.
Oh. Ramblings of a madman, for certain.
Either that or an oracle. By the way, does the voice? Can I make some sort of check to see if the voice sounds remotely familiar, at all?
It does not.
No. All right.
Kevin's pretty curious. He's gonna go over and pick up the orb.
Okay.
Kevin, that's not a Mary stop.
Okay.
Kevin, are you activating it?
Yeah.
Okay. Believe it or not, you have exhausted the things I have written out.
It just repeats.
It starts over on the first one. You hear the same message that Bimbley heard. Would you like me to read it?
Yes.
Okay. The stars.
We keep touching the orb for the rest of the session.
Gabe just keeps saying
Just for the voice.
over and over again.
It's my Darth Maul from the Clone Wars.
Oh.
The stars. The answer is in the stars. I know it. You know it. 300 years ago, there was a recorded event. A tear in the sky. A visible ring of stars shone through. Something crashed to the earth near Gallodrin just a few years ago. Another tear happened. 300 years. This cannot be a coincidence. I was right. I had the scope pointed at the right spot. I saw it. More things crashed down to the surface of Avon. One was close. I ran to the window and watched it sink beyond the wall. I tried to find it. I did find it. A shell fragment of some sort. A language on it I had no knowledge of. Something was in it. Some gas, I think. I breathed some in. What was that? No, I'm not hungry. Well, go get food for yourself. Ah, of course you can. Very well. And Kevin, you in particular should be very intrigued by this little voice recording.
Yeah.
All right, that's all I'm going to say then, as long as you're aware of that.
Well, is it because I recognize the voice?
I will say it's not quite, but if you recall your narrative,
Yeah.
you pretty much went through Solomon Crux's exact experience. Okay, but none of the party knows that.
None of the party knows that.
You've also been given a fragment of something that fell from the sky by Victor Haversham. But the party does not know that either.
Okay, so Kevin will start conveying what he heard.
Okay.
And say, okay, so something crashed in Galadrin. There was a scrape, I saw it, and there was an Avon crash 300 years ago, but he found it, and there was a shell fragment. There was a lot of gas in it, but then that reminds me of a time when I had something like that happen too, and then I got a thing from a guy, and now I have a fragment too.
You have a fragment.
Yeah.
Fragment of what?
I don't know, crashy thing.
Where do you have it?
Pretty sure I still have it on me. Kevin just starts going through his pockets and produces the fragment. Like, here.
May I see that?
Yeah. Kevin hands it.
What am I looking at?
Okay, so sorry, that voice kills me. You guys go.
Kevin activates it again. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I'm watching you, Ben. So it looks like a small part of It's not like it's more of like a modern looking material, like something you would see maybe cast out of like concrete almost. Not anything that you've seen like naturally. Like there's not cast concrete in this universe, so it does look a little unfamiliar. It's got like a chalky white hue to it. It looks crumbly, but as soon as you have it in your hand, it feels like pure steel. Like you don't know how something like this could have shattered and broken apart. It's definitely a fragment, and it looks like it would fit into something somewhere. But however, the one that Kevin has given you, there is no runic markings on it. There aren't any. There's nothing on it except for just smoothness. However, I will say it's kind of concave. Like it's got like a bit of curvature to it. It's just like fits in the palm of your hand. It's pretty small.
Can I extrapolate how big the thing would need to be to form a complete? Like, are we talking like a beach ball, a volleyball, or like a something even bigger?
Yeah. Make just a flat intelligence check. Make a geometry check.
Yeah, basically. 14.
Okay. You're not entirely sure, but I mean, given just the nature, you're sort of just, like you said, based on like the curvature and the thickness of the fragment, you're trying to imagine the size of it. It's a very, very slight curve. You get the feeling it could be potentially 8-ish feet tall.
Okay.
Very, very wide, similar to something you have once seen before.
Okay. Kevin, where did you get this?
It was given to me.
By who?
Victor.
Victor
who?
Victor Habsman. Christoph. Kevin's not good with names. Let's go with Victor.
Okay.
It says Victor. He doesn't know.
Does he also say Haversham though? At least
That was the correct person, right?
the correct last name. Yeah.
Yeah, Victor Haversham. Please tell me someone knows that there's not a Victor Haversham. Oh no, Kevin.
Haversham.
Technically, Scott is the only one that knows.
There is a Christoph Haversham. I've never heard of Victor.
Oh yeah, that's it. And also, you got really quiet.
Oh,
Did you turn yourself down?
Is your mic just away from your face, Scott?
No, I turned it down because I was typing too loud.
Yeah, you sound like a mile away now.
Sorry.
Ash, your picture looks less like a veiny pickaxe when I see it up close. Apologize.
Close roll 20.
Now is it better?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Keep going
You
up.
need to be up more.
You? Okay. What about now?
Good.
All right.
What were you saying, Seth?
Oh, I know of a Christoph Haversham.
Oh yeah, that's the guy.
And
Who is he?
what's his relation to Sarah?
Do I know what it is?
I think I mentioned it. It's husband.
Oh. He's Sarah Haversham's husband. Now, what he's doing with a artifact like this and giving it to Kevin, I do not know.
I'll put a hand on Kevin's shoulder and say, Kevin, when did you get this?
When did I get that?
Which one?
The artifact that I gave them.
Okay, the one from
Kristoff.
Vic. Oh, now I'm calling him Victor.
My grand scheme to undo all the clever planning.
So many words, so many names. You received this just before you guys came in. Remember, he took you down to the beach. Everyone was having their little one-on-one moments. Victor pulled you aside from the party, handed you. God. Think you're real funny, don't you?
Yeah, I know, I'm so good.
He Kristoff handed you the piece of pottery. He gave you some words of encouragement, sent you on your way, and then he just
disappeared.
Yeah.
When you guys were sleeping that one night, he took me down to the beach and he told me good words, and then he gave me this thing.
The same one we found among the Kuatoa.
Yeah.
That Kristoff.
But how is that possible? He told us he was created by the Kuatoans.
Yes, but then he had said that it was a lie.
Oh, yeah. Oops.
Plot.
Plot.
Do I have another one? Do I?
Technically, but it's in your backstory, so we haven't really discussed it yet.
Okay.
Can I see if this thing has any magical properties?
Sure. Are you using an identify or detect magic spell?
If I had one, but no.
You can make an arcana check, but you do kind of just off the cuff understand that it seems to have magical nature to it.
Okay.
But handling it, you don't feel magics. It doesn't interact with anything really.
Okay. I'm gonna Kevin, I'm gonna sit down and just catalog my experience. Today's been a whirlwind of new things I've never seen before, and I'm just gonna kind of start writing furiously in my book and looking up at it and trying to copy it down and stuff.
Okay.
Okay. Kevin sits next to him and just looks, because he can't read, so he's just looking at the words.
I will try to remember that if I ever give you a plot line that has you read something.
By any chance, the black ooze that was kind of coming through the portal, does it look similar to the big guy outside the wall?
Scott, make a nature check for me.
Oh, okay. That's a critical fail, so...
Man, there are some colors that certainly look similar, but lately there's been a whole lot of ooze in your life.
Alright.
You could ask a party mate for advantage, or assistance, rather.
Thok, the ooze on your gauntlets, does it seem familiar to the one outside the wall? The big thing?
I believe so, yes.
Can I roll with advantage now?
You may roll one more d20 to have given yourself that assist.
That's a little better.
Is that a 1? I hope so.
No,
2.
It's a 13.
Okay. Yeah, it does actually seem very similar.
Okay. I'll turn to Fluff and Right. I'll be like, would you mind if we each equipped each other with just a spoon each? You can keep the rest, I promise.
Make a persuasion check.
Or
As these two gnomes that are just hungry for their spoons look you over.
Seth promising something.
17.
Okay.
All right, I'll let you each take a spoon.
We will bring them back.
That's it.
We will bring them back, I promise. We just have to annihilate the monster outside the walls.
With spoons!
Gabe's grand plan coming together. I'm gonna make them kill the boss with a spoon. Anyway, Fluff and Red approaches you, Seth, and he reaches a hand up with a spoon, and he puts it in your hand. But before you can take it from him, he grabs your wrist with his other hand, and he says,
You better bring these back. Don't you fucking toy with me.
Of course I will. I always return what I borrow.
Promise accepted.
Well, I think we should go to the guards. I think Caden needs to know the fate of his sister.
I thought he already knew.
I'm actually going to go back to the inn. I'm dying again.
I thought you couldn't die.
I can heal you.
No. I just need a good night's rest.
I'm insight check.
You may
all the
make
way.
an insight check.
Yeah,
Scott.
no.
Make a deception
Do it.
check. Also, while you guys are doing this, it is about 11 a.m.
I was gonna say it's like midday.
Yeah.
22.
Damn! I got an 18.
Ooh, that's not bad. Yep, you definitely... He does look a little tired, Bimbly, after all.
You know, we could just rest here for a moment, an hour or so, regain our strength, head out.
No, I don't want to be a crux to the party. I need 8 hours. It's hard being a god walking among men.
You will be missing the gala if you rest that long.
Does he know about the gala invitation?
Yeah, you guys told me about it.
Okay, all right.
Just give you my invitation. I'll just arrive late.
There's only one invitation.
I'll just arrive late. I'll get in somehow.
They won't let you in, but
We'll come back for you. It's only 11.
Very
It shouldn't
well.
be too long.
Yes, tell Caden I said hello and I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Okay, I will remember. Reginald, would you mind if we just tarry a moment here? I just need to regain my strength before we head out.
Sure thing.
And would there be a safe room for Tatia Mona?
Yes, we'll put her in the quarantine with Brock.
That's right. I'd like to go see Brock.
Yes, that's why this place was quarantined to begin with.
Excellent.
All right, come along, bearers of the spoons.
Reginald will take, your hand, Ren, and lead you downstairs. And not like the whole way, just like to get your attention. Anyway. Those of you that are resting, are you just staying up here? It does seem to be safe-ish.
Yeah, this is fine.
Okay. So you're just gonna... 1 hour rest? No?
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to go into a different room, just anywhere where I haven't been, to get away from Fluff and Right, because I think he still might wanna take me apart.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. He's definitely shot you some sidelong glances, but nothing ultra nefarious.
Look at the way that machine's put together.
No, my Pimbly.
That's some fine craftsmanship. All right. So the party does go down the stairs. So this is the second level. If you recall, that was the level made of brick. I just lied. This is the Gothic level. So the furnishings here are very wooden and classical. There's lots of cabinetry and wooden furnishings. It's very rich and homey and very well put together. And he leads you into the room toward the front of the building, and it's looking out into that little courtyard. However, it appears that the shields have been raised again, that magic circle. So there's that sort of iridescent, wavy curtain just sort of fluttering outside of the windows. And there is a sick bed, and lying within it is Brock. He does appear to be conscious. However, he still doesn't look good. Reginald will accompany you. Terrence, however, slides off, skulking about, doing something of his own.
Okay. Hey, Brock. Good to see you. And you're not dead. I can't believe you made it out of the city.
Yes, well,
Or into the city.
I followed a young boy. He took pretty good care of me. He seemed to really know his way around.
You mean Tef?
Maybe he was the one that drew on my hand. You sent us to safety together.
Yeah. Do you know where he went?
We were on our way to the Temple of Mask, I think, but once they saw the state of me, they turned me away, and the Inventors Guild took me in. They claim it's study, but I'm just grateful to have a bed, really.
Are they treating you well here?
Yes, they poke and prod, but nothing too intrusive.
Do you seem to be getting better?
Not yet. They think that they have some ideas, either with more runes or some sort of... Oh, I don't even want to say it. Emotional therapy.
Well, I know many things about magic and some things I don't, so maybe it'll work.
Maybe I'll be ill forever. There's no way for a gnome to live, Ren.
Brock, at least as far as the runes are concerned, I think the right person has to write it on you. It can't just be anyone.
That could be true.
I think even if I made an exact copy, it wouldn't do anything.
Then I guess that young boy is important.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think he's the only one that might be able to make a difference.
Oh, don't sell yourself short. I bet you can too.
Well, I'll just say I don't have the ability to magically heal people with runes to this sickness. I mean, I have minor healing abilities, but nothing like this.
You're still young, Ren. You've got plenty of time to learn these tricks. Maybe you'll be the one to get me out of this mess after all.
Well, I think we might have to go to the Temple of Mask and see if we can find the boy.
Yes.
Any other information that might help us? Anything you saw?
The only thing that I saw when I left was some of the... It wasn't just corpses moving when we were fleeing Canvas Town. The ooze, it was pulling wood and canvas in the tents. It was pulling everything it could down into the trench.
Okay. That's concerning. Makes me think the walls of the city even aren't safe.
I would say that time is certainly a factor. But that thing, I've heard the people talking about it. No one here knows what it is. Maybe if they knew what it was called, they could shed some light on it.
We don't know.
If you say so.
Do I know?
No, you do not know, Ren.
All right.
Didn't one of us get the name of it in the narrative? Not the narrative, in the orb.
Yes.
I forget who it was. I didn't write down my specific memory.
Anyway, I'm sure you'll find a way to stop it, Ren. You've saved me like 3 times now.
Yeah, you owe me 1 or 3 now. I'll cash in on those favors later, but just take care of yourself.
I will. I'm not going anywhere.
Good. All right. I will join the rest of the party and tell them Barak says that Tef was last seen entering the Temple of Mask.
Okay. You do that. And in the meanwhile, anyone, all of you, even yourself, Ren, you're all welcome to take that 1 hour rest
Yes, please.
as you hang out here.
Already rolled the hit die.
I'm
And
gonna
a second.
do that as well.
Seth, are you taking a short rest, or have you just booked it already?
I'm gone.
You're gone? Okay. So where are you going then, Seth, while they're doing this? Tell me what your plan of action is.
Well, it just so happens I was going to go to the Temple of Mass to see if I could find Teresa. Does that have questions?
Okay. Yeah, you can head that way.
I'll probably stop in an alley and take a short rest too.
Oh my god. Okay.
Actual Scott.
Seth leaves the Inventors Guild. The magical curtain parts for you as you leave. You head out into the cobblestone streets of Agrevorn, and you head on a easterly course up around sort of the bend toward the other side of the city that you guys have not really been to yet, except for yourself, you've been in the courtyard.
Mm-hmm.
There are a series of sort of abandoned buildings here. There's some, remember the stables and such from the joint regiment.
Okay.
Those are in this general area. So you know there's some abandoned buildings that you could probably like nestle yourself into and take a rest.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay. So you don't head that far away then, right? You're just sort of out in the street.
Yeah, just out of view and away from Caden's residence and towards the temple.
Take your short rest as well then. And this will kind of put everyone in the same timeline this way. So we'll see if you can narrowly avoid, I guess, reconvening with your party as you all head in the same direction. However, as your short rest finishes, Seth, I will need one more Constitution saving throw from you.
Let's see. That is a 24.
Okay. You begin to cough, but it sort of passes. You think maybe you got some horse dander from one of the nearby abandoned stables in your lungs, but it fades. And you manage to keep upright. All right. As you slip back out into the cobblestones and head towards the Temple of Mask, what is the party doing back at the Inventors Guild?
Did you have a good talk with your friend Brock? Ren?
I did. Brock, well, he's not getting better, but he's not getting worse, at least yet. He'll be here for quite some time, and I think the only thing that might be able to help him with everything we've learned so far is Tef, wherever he is. And speaking of, Brock entered the city with Tef, but they split off at the Temple of Mask.
That's good to know. We might want to head there once we go see Sergeant Caden.
How much time do we have before this gala later? About what time is it? Do we know?
It's about noon. You believe nightfall-ish. I think something along those lines was marked on the invitation.
Do we need to get clothes? Like gala clothes?
Fox shakes his head. Bimbley is a walking suit of armor.
Bimbley could try and dress up. You don't know.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, don't assume Bimbley's fashion sense. You
But that would be your prerogative, Ren, if you wish to do so.
Well, I don't know. There's probably more important things to do with everything else going on than just putting on some garments.
It's always good to be safe in these things. You never know what might go awry.
I keep forgetting, by the way, what happened with that book of herbs written in a language now that Terrence is here?
So Terrence does have that. No, I'm sorry. Virgin Life has that. They went south with it.
Okay, got it.
The two Dumai that Kevin stalked far to the south and slew a wyvern with on Kevin's magical escapade.
I was a squirrel.
Yes, you were. You bit that wyvern for 1 damage,
That's
and
right.
it tried to stab you for 80.
Yeah, well, you know what? Sucks to be him.
It does.
Say, why don't we try to recollect our memories from that orb? Does anybody have anything of note?
Yes, in order of who touched it from first to last. Maybe it's a kind of diary.
That is exactly what it seems to be.
So the first was Bimbly and Kevin.
Yep. I'll speak for us, Kevin. Thank you.
Okay.
Whoever this belonged to, they were studying the stars. They observed something that happens every 300 years. Same thing that I believe we saw. The Ring of Stars. It happened some 3 weeks ago, and something fell from the heavens. A shell of some sort inscribed with an unknown language, which, if everything is pointing signs to, we have seen. The language of the demise. He was starting to lose his mind. He had breathed in the gas from the shell thing and was talking to somebody himself. It's unsure, but considering he ate his friend, most likely himself.
Very good.
And who is next?
Seth.
Ah,
Who is not with the party.
But didn't Seth relay what he had heard in it, for the most part?
Kind
yeah.
of.
Kind of sort
I
of.
mean, he didn't do it verbatim, though. He got a little sidetracked by talking about the end of the earth.
He just said it was
Can
all
we-
riddles and that it was the end of the world.
Can we just cycle through until we get to the second thing and read it aloud? Like, here, look, I'll fast forward for everybody. Reading it aloud now.
All right. So, yes, Bimble, you take the orb, which is still in working order.
Orbiter.
Yes. I should have broken it as soon as Thok dropped it.
That would have been smart.
Thanks, man.
Afterthoughts.
Yeah. Hindsight's 2020. Anyway, Bimble, you do cycle through it, and well, I guess I'll read it again to you. These ones aren't so long. The first one, they all have kind of hidden knowledge in them. Well, that happened. I ate my lab assistant. Charles didn't taste half bad either. I kept thinking that I should not be enjoying this. This is Charles. This is not food. Oh, yes, right. Charles is food. Because we need to find the cosmic map. And you need your strength. Of course, I will avoid the feelings. Yes. All plant-like material for that matter. Strange. And the next. So, the purge of mankind is to take place, and it starts with me? Why does it matter if a Kevin has arrived? What is the harbinger? Why are you in my mind, and how do I get you out? A construct? Who constructed you? Dumai? And they wish for me to do what? What's an interloper? The dormant titans? They'll use them to bring the end? Yes, I see. Those are the two that Seth had heard. And if you guys cycle through it anymore, I'm just going to copy it and paste it into Discord.
You just
That'd be
need one more
great.
time, that's all.
Might be good.
What was the one that I had heard?
Do you want me to read it?
You can just paste it. No, if you have it typed up, you can just literally paste it. It's fine.
I don't want to paste it for you guys. There's a
lot of information you don't want us to have.
I don't want it to be like my notes written out for you. There's nuance there. I often change the things I say too as I'm reading it.
I got WordPad up.
Okay.
Shouldn't have given us a replay button.
Yeah, you could still watch the VOD.
Something about this cosmic map, and I think we know where one fragment or the map might be. Didn't they say something about where it fell? I know I have this written down.
Yes, it named a city.
Gallodrin.
Not only that, but I believe he called the creature by name.
Do you remember the name?
Oh, that is in Fox, actually.
So I want you to read it. I can make a history check, see if I remember, since I didn't write it down.
Okay.
I'll be pretty fair about it.
I'll be fair about what does that mean? Oh, okay. You'll accept the burden of a roll.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, that's a natural 18 with I think I have a -1 tonight.
Okay.
Yeah, so 17.
The shortest one, a whopping 3 sentences. You heard him say, "I don't want to go down and create the Cybriacs."
Okay.
Oh. That's what that was.
Is Cybriacs plural, or is it a name that ends with like an X?
It ends in X.
Okay.
That does not mean Google it. Do not Google this creature.
No, I wasn't gonna Google it. I was curious if it was like the Cybriac, lots of them, or if just a single entity.
Singular, yeah. Gotcha.
That's fair.
I save all my Googling for after.
Thok, the two gnomes here seem to be learned men when they can stop bickering with each other. Maybe they know what this creature is.
Well, we could certainly talk to them. Can I go about finding them?
Absolutely. And they, you will find them. They aren't hiding from you or anything. You probably have to go downstairs and find them in the kitchen, where Terrence is staring at the cabinets like a hungry dog, and Reginald is guarding his spoons.
Rightly so. So I walk in. Excuse me, fellas, before we depart, have you heard of this type of creature before? Ren, what was it called again?
It's called a Cybriacs.
Both gnomes freeze in their tracks and look at each other. And you see Reginald go over to the cabinet. He opens it, he takes a spoon out, and he hands it to Terrence.
What is the matter?
It's a creature from the abyss. Something must have dredged it up to the surface.
That's... Go ahead.
They spread plague and death everywhere they go.
That's maybe what is on the outside of the walls.
Had we known what it was, we wouldn't have allowed the militia to send any men out. We would have already known that it was hopeless.
Well, it's not too late to save more people.
Not until we know a way to kill it.
What else do you know about this creature?
Well, I know that it, with a single word, can turn those around it into evil entities. It can just, if you get close to it, your skin begins to melt. It kills everything. It blights plants. It tortures the earth. And
if it's here, and it came from the abyss, did something have to summon it?
Something must have. Something must have drawn it up. Some cursed magics or summoning.
Melting flesh.
I don't know. Perhaps it was somehow attracted to something there, out in
The canvas town, that's where it came up, right?
Mm-hmm. We saw it. Actually, everything we saw fits the picture. The melting of flesh from the people, the fog of death.
There was a trough with all of the unfortunately discarded who had died from the disease. It might have fed off of that, built itself. You say it's something of extreme disease, yes?
Yes, that could do it. That could have served as its body, but what drove the heart of the creature up? Do you know what happened? Were you there when it came to life?
We were in Canvas Town.
Do you know what triggered it to come to the surface?
It happened at the same exact time that Tef was healing Brock.
Something in the journal. The orb, the memory orb, it said we should avoid feelings. Tef, when he does his magic, it creates a ripple.
That's very interesting. Perhaps it's tethered to that somehow.
And his mother, Tatia Mona, also has an ability to spread her feelings voluntarily or involuntarily.
It's tied to it somehow. Perhaps it's a clue to defeating it. Or at least understanding it. Which I'll take.
Bimley, do you mean maybe feeling less or feeling more will help us?
It said in the playback that we, the sick, crazy men, should avoid feelings and plant-like material. So I imagine absence of emotion helps it grow, stay strong, who knows?
So we're aiming to be the Care Bears, essentially.
That's not good.
With
I'm a bear.
This is all good information to have. Well, shall we go now? There's much to get done.
There is.
All right.
Terrence, take good care of Brock, please.
He holds his spoon up in the air and says, I won't let any harm come to him. Unless I lose my spoon, in which case I'm probably just going to run. But I'll try and bring him with me.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. So, does the party depart the Inventors Guild? Okay.
It's the way you
What's
phrase
that look, Ben?
What's your marching order? Which way are you leaving the door? Who goes first?
Who's first?
Yeah, uh-huh.
All right. It's almost like you've been reading my face for these moments for 3 years.
The trust is dead now.
Yeah. Well, the trust died Trust probably died the first time I killed you.
Yeah.
First time I killed.
Thok, are we headed to the soldiers' garrison? Yeah.
Okay.
The joint regiment, something or other.
All right. I just stopped the music in Roll20. Have you all been hearing music up until now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. I had an alert, so. All right. The party sets foot outside of the Inventors Guild. The curtain, the iridescent magical curtain, parts for you as you leave. You begin to head to your left, west toward what you believe to be the joint compound, the military buildings that you pass, the barracks and such. Seth, if you're like hidden away in a building, I'm not going to give a check. You are trying to remain out of sight though of the party, correct?
Yeah, because I don't want to be in that building.
Yeah. Since no one's actively looking for you, I'm not going to call for a check. However, a great lumbering and heaving groan comes from the earth beyond the walls. And then the purity of silence, much the same as it was in the previous incident when the earth caved in and allowed something out. And finally, there's a monstrous whoomph sound from outside the city. Several distinct pops that follow it, like air being detonated with a series of cracks. For a moment, there's nothing, and then there's a whistling in the air and a squelching noise as something collides with the cobblestones up the street. Then again, and again, and again, in rapid succession. As you see these sort of vacuous projectiles sort of slamming into the ground, as though something has been launching things over the wall. As though the entity itself has learned some new tricks.
That's not good.
I would like you all to roll initiative as one of these collides into the cobblestones directly in front of the Inventors Guild, in front of you all as you're walking out. Seth, you are not with the party.
Oh, okay.
If you would like to return to the party, I'll allow it. But it's going to be up to you. You're kind of off on your mission.
Okay. So they're past me already then.
They went left, you went right. Because
Okay.
you're going to be heading towards the temple, which is to the east.
Okay.
Yeah. So you are also experiencing this. However, you're not really in a position where you might want to fight. I will likely give you a skill challenge that I had sort of unprepared, because there are these cocoons landing in your vicinity as well.
Okay.
But
Cocoons!
shit. These strange blob-like things that you just saw Thok go elbow deep into. Yeah. All right, and it is 8:40. So if you would like, we can take our 5-minute break. I will prepare the combat during that time.
Sounds good.
And when we come back, we will continue.
All right, I'll have you guys muted for a little while, and just when everyone gets back, let me know in the Discord when you're ready, and I'll transition back. See you in a few.
Okay.
Okay.
Also, Bryce, before I switch off, I was trying to find it, but that's
What is that?
What the hell?
it's the Cibriex, the
Oh, wow.
Can you show us one more time, Gabe? One more.
thing I made.
Can you hold that up close to your camera?
Don't judge me. That was what I made. He was pretty close.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. That mini's amazing.
You made that mini.
Yeah.
That's pretty neat.
Out of
Hey, that's pretty neat.
That was pretty out of styrofoam balls and hot glue.
All right, thank
Wow.
you.
Nice.
I'll see you guys in a few.
Welcome. Could I get your initiative, Kevin?
7.
7. And Seth, I would like you to also roll initiative for me.
Okay. Five.
Okay. 5. Nice. All right. Let me just get this in really quick. Thok, you will be going first, just as a heads up, and then Ren.
Okay.
And you all did take your short rest, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Actually, I think mine was a long rest. Just kind of figured out how to do that.
Actually, Kevin doesn't know how to tell time, so sometimes he has like this space-time continuum anomaly thing.
Yeah, I mean, I had to sacrifice being able to read to do it, but
I'm convinced that's just your way of building in a reason for you not to have to take notes.
or just all of Kevin's notes are already bad.
Of course.
He's
Just
learning
trying not to
reading.
listen.
He's learning it.
Yeah,
He's just not very so like he can sound out things, but he doesn't understand big words.
That's good to know. Right.
I'm looking for the opportunity to mispronounce things in the future. I'm really excited for that. I want
names.
Gabe to send me a paragraph of things for Kevin to have to like convey to the party and just see how bad it can get.
It's gonna happen, you know it will. It's already happened like 4 times. We've only been playing. This is the 3rd game.
No, every single time it's like, okay, is Kevin the only one receiving this information? Sorry, guys. That's not going to be good for you.
Just realized I had been talking twice and I was muted the whole time.
Welcome to my world.
All right.
I was saying, I was imagining that scene from Always Sunny in Philadelphia where Charlie's like reading off a script and like, Charlie, you knew how to read?
Yeah. Oh man, if we can get Kevin, if we can maneuver you to have to like give a speech, like a rousing speech to a crowd of defeated people.
Let's go. Kevin's ready.
Let's go.
Gala. Gala.
It's like the presidential the presidential one. Dennis, money me now.
Oh goodness. All right. So without further ado,
Ready when you are,
Kevin.
Gabe.
Yeah. Okay. Sharing second screen now. And it got moved. That's great.
Got it.
I don't know how it got moved.
I'm not gonna move my camera. It moves the camera.
So I'm gonna move it real quick up and down so the people on the stream can see. Look at this little house that Gabe made. How cute is that?
That is amazing.
And then there's the rest of us. So
Yes.
here's the house so you guys can see it. Now I'm gonna move it so you guys can all see where the actual combat's happening. All right. We're golden, pony boy.
Okay. So you guys are out in the street. Behind you is the Inventors Guild. That curtain, though, is still up and down. So just imagine that's behind the party, and you can't retreat through it. You can, of course, go up and down the street. And just at the far end, there's an abandoned house. And, of course, the Hill District begins to work its way up the mountain here. So
Okay.
just to sort of set that scene for you guys. There aren't really restrictions on left and right movement. We can go theater of mind if we need to. I will get some music going. And Thok, it is your turn just to describe what's happening. The cocoon of ooze that has sloshed down into the cobblestone streets bursts open. And out crawls what you can only imagine was once a militiaman or a soldier. You can see bits of his armor hanging off. His flesh is rent asunder. There's ooze like pouring out of him. And he just starts running at the party. And not his arm is like flailing behind him broken. It's still, however, clutching a sword. And there are just bits and goops of ooze like leaking out, but also they appear to be physically moving his body for him. So, anyway, what would you like to do?
I'll close that distance.
Okay.
And I'll try to hit it with a trip attack to stop it from moving.
Okay.
We'll try to hit it first and add a trip attack to it if it hits. Unnatural 20 to hit.
Oh, it's just an attack. It's not a save?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Now I get the save.
Okay. Well, the hit does land as well.
Okay. The save will be a DC 15 strength save.
Okay. Unfortunately, the creature does save with an unnatural 20.
Alright.
So your blade catches into the side of the creature, just sort of rending and goring away some of that flesh, revealing more ooze underneath. But your attempts to knock it over fail.
Not a problem. It will take 22 piercing damage.
Okay.
And I'll hit him again.
22? This is a one-handed attack, isn't it?
Yeah, trip attack though, so you add a superiority die to it.
Even though he succeeded?
Mm-hmm.
Dang.
Still gets the damage, just doesn't fall.
Okay.
That's a 13 to hit.
Unfortunately, this attack, however, does pierce the creature, but it doesn't seem to leave any mortal wound behind.
Okay, I'll stay there.
Okay. Still, a nice solid blow. Okay. Ren, it is your turn.
Okay, from where I'm at, can I try casting a scorching ray at the creature?
Absolutely.
Okay.
You might have its AC might be a little increased unless you move out to the side.
I'll move.
Okay. Yeah, if you move 15 feet in that direction, you have a wide open shot to it.
Great, I like it.
Okay.
So I make 3 spell attacks each. It's 17. It's a 7, and it's 18.
Okay. 17, 7, and 18, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the 17 and 18 will hit. However, the middle blast, you see it just sort of fly over the creature's shoulder and slam into the mountain.
Okay.
However, the first 2 do connect.
So 17 total damage.
Okay. All right. You hear sort of just like screeching, this sort of guttural, as the blast now lands into it, and it's got this huge gaping hole punctured into its chest. That will bring us to the creature itself, though. Thok, as you have aggravated it at first, it raises that broken arm to attack you and swings it forward. A 12 will miss, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and it sort of lurches forward with that lopsided swing, and then suddenly its chest rips open as these pseudopods come bursting out at you rapidly.
Fucking pseudopods, man.
Pseudopods. I'm guessing a 26 will hit.
Yeah.
Oh, I rolled another 26. 27?
Woo!
Oh, okay. And an 18 to hit.
Oh.
18 just hits.
Okay. All right, these pseudopods just come pulsing out rapidly. So from the first attack, you will take 8 damage.
Okay.
8 damage from the second attack. 8 damage from the third attack. And 8 damage from the fourth. I rolled a 3 every single time.
Wow.
Damn, drop me down to 15.
Yeah. It's pretty nasty.
Also.
All right. Okay.
You nasty.
All right. That will end its turn, however, and bring us to Kevin.
How far away are we?
You're right here, so 20 feet.
20 feet. Okay. I'm on the fence, Gabe. I don't know which I want to do.
Okay.
Follow your heart.
Flip a coin.
I need to double
We're
check.
all about the dice here.
Trust your instincts.
Do the
Yeah.
suboptimal thing for story.
No, I need to do the. I'll cast Bark Skin, and then turn into Bitey Kevin,
Okay.
and then get up.
Fire bear?
Get up in there. Fire Bear didn't seem to work on the other critters that seemed similar to this. So I think I'm just gonna go with regular Bear Kevin.
Okay.
And so,
All right.
Yeah.
So you were in the mix as well.
Yeah.
Very good.
Oh, Bark Skin was my action. Never mind.
Yeah.
Okay.
Seth, it is your turn.
Where am I? I'm not even with him.
You are not. I'm sorry. I meant to set the scene for you. Instead, I went on autopilot. So something very similar has happened to you where you're at. Now, you were not with the party. You were in the stables. However, one of these cocoons did land in the street directly in front of you. Okay. And you see a very similar creature begin to reach up and tear the cocoon away. And it sort of sloughs out into the street. And it begins to smell for victims. What would you like to do to make yourself more scarce?
You said I'm in stables, right?
You are in the stables. You don't see anyone else on the immediate street. If you recall, this is kind of an abandoned part of town.
Yeah. Let me see if I can't find like is there like a second floor, you know, like a ring, like maybe, you know, with a little pile of hay I could kind of nestle in, hide?
Sure. So you just want to like dive into hay like this is Assassin's Creed?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna treat this like a skill challenge. If you're just gonna stay somewhere and hide, every time we get back to your initiative roll, we're just gonna have you make the check again versus his perception, and whoever gets best of 3 wins.
All right.
Okay.
Isn't he trying to smell you? Just FYI. Not see you.
Oh, yeah, true.
Make your stealth check, Scoop.
Hide your odor.
6.
Oh my god. Scott, I rolled a 5.
What?
Dead serious.
Oh my
All right.
god.
All right. The creature does lean ahead around to the side, and it begins to listen. So that's the sense we'll go with next round as we return to you. All right. Bimbley, it is your turn.
Hey.
You.
All right. I'm gonna. Sorry.
I'm gonna munch this boy.
Yep. I'm gonna walk up to him and try to do some flame blades and stuff.
Okay.
11 to hit.
11 to hit. Unfortunately, the fire does not cause any effect to the creature in this particular instance.
Yeah, I didn't think so. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. All right. That will bring us back to the top of the order. Thok, it is your turn. However, first, the creature is going to get a lair action.
Ooh.
As the cocoon behind it sort of slurps up its flesh and begins to ignite. As this just like you can see, like the ooze begins to lift up and sort of detonate in the air, and it's kind of like becoming smoky, and then it bursts over the entire party. I would like Constitution saving throws for everyone within 30 feet. So all of you.
Yay.
11.
Baby. 20.
20, okay.
14.
Question.
Yes.
Sorry.
Actually, 22.
Okay.
Has it been an hour since our... Well, yes, it has, actually. We took a
It has.
rest. Never mind. Constitution, you said?
Constitution.
15.
15. Okay. All right. We have a 15, a 22 from Ren,
11.
11 from Thok,
14.
Kevin. 14. All right, the DC is 15.
Oh no.
So those of you that fail take 22 poison damage. Those of you that succeed take 11. Bimbley, I believe you are resistant.
I am.
Okay, so you take half of 11 on top of it.
I dropped to 1 HP due to the half-orc feature.
Okay. So the choking mists that are coming out of the cocoon do bring Thok down to one knee. However, with his racial feature, he stands back up.
Racist.
He's on papers. All right. Thok, it is your turn. You are at 1 HP.
I will bonus action second wind to heal 12 HP.
Okay.
Nice.
I will attack this guy again with a miss with a 11 to hit. So I'll swing again. Not much better. 14 to hit.
Unfortunately, your war pick does not find purchase on this round.
Oof, not good. Okay. That is the turn.
All right. Okay, Ren, it is your turn.
Okay. I'm going to cast Scorching Ray, but before that, I'll use my bonus action and use Healing Word on Thok.
Okay, you won't be able to use 2 leveled spells. Like you'll have to use Healing Word and then a cantrip.
Okay. Sure. I'll do Firebolt and then do the healing word.
Okay. So make your spell attack, and then just let Thok know when he gets back.
Damn it. All right. It's a 9, so I'm guessing it won't hit. Can you hear me? Oh, he's frozen. He'll be back.
It froze.
Rip.
Damn. There he is.
It had to happen eventually. All right. Unfortunately, your firebolt goes awry.
Okay. I'll get that health in the chat in a sec.
Okay.
But carry on.
All right.
You know what? Let me back up a little bit. That damage sucked, and I want to be far from it.
Okay. I'm just having you run down the street a ways.
Okay.
It's probably about your full movement, and that leaves you 35 feet away.
All right.
I gave you the exact number you need to be away already, so. All right. It is the creature's turn. It is quite surrounded, and it just sort of throws that arm out again, and it tries to catch Kevin this time. 26 to hit.
Yeah, that'll barely get it.
Barely.
This time the sword catches you. This is a little bit more powerful than the other attacks, the pseudopods. This hits you for 13 piercing damage.
Ow!
And
Don't do it, Gabe.
6 poison damage.
Biscuits.
And then the pseudopods begin to erupt out of his flesh in every direction. One heading to Thok with a 16 to hit, which will miss. Another to Thok with a 14 to hit.
Okay.
Another to Thok, this time with a 24 to hit.
Okay.
Dealing 10 piercing damage. And this one will head to Bimbley. 15 to hit.
No.
Okay. All right, that will end its turn.
No.
And that will bring us to Kevin.
Well, that dropped me out of bear form, so I have to use another wild shape to hop back into that for my bonus action, and then I will attack.
Okay. Let him have it.
Okie doke.
Please.
Sorry, all of our cameras for some reason got mixed up on the wrong spots, so I've been correcting them the whole time. Okay.
Okay.
All right, 16 to hit for the swipey
All right.
swipes.
Your swipes just land. Just gouging down the beastie's pseudopod holes.
Okay, that is. Drop the dice. Okay, that is 12 damage
Okay.
for the swipey swipes. Let me bite this big boy.
Okay. Put him in your mouth.
And that is a 15 to hit.
All right. Unfortunately, the 15 does just miss.
Ball.
You can't quite get your jaws around his goopy, strange flesh.
Okie doke.
All right. That will bring us to Seth. Seth, the beast is still wandering around outside.
Okay.
It's paused for a moment. Make one more stealth check, I suppose, unless you want to try and do something else, but you're just sort of sitting, you're trying to remain as still as possible.
Could I shuttle spell a create bonfire so it's kind of looking in like an opposite direction so I can kind of like get out and move somewhere else?
Okay, if you do that, I will give you advantage on your stealth check to move somewhere.
Okay. I will do that. Nat 20.
Nat 20, all right. So, Seth, why don't you describe for me what it looks like when you do something like casting a subtle spell?
Sure. So I'm kind of lying in the hay. I probably see the thing looking around for me, whatever. And then I'll probably pick. How big's the stable? Like,
The building itself is relatively small.
Okay.
But
Okay.
outside of the stable, there's a ring, an empty enclosure.
okay. I'll probably pick one of the abandoned houses, like opposite of me, and you'll kind of see, kind of a dark aura around me kind of shoot into my medallion that my mom gave me. It kind of sees its way over to the other side of the street, and a fire kind of erupts.
Okay. All right. So a fire silently erupts into the opposite end of the street, and you do in fact see this strange creature sort of drag its, it's walking around like that guy from Men in Black 1. It's just like,
Oh, yeah.
so he lurches his way over there, giving you an opening, and you do manage to make it halfway down the street. However, we will have one more skill challenge for you.
Okay.
All right. That will bring us to Bimbly. It is your turn.
Can I try the same thing again? Because actually, no, I'm just gonna attack with my longsword because I don't have my greatsword on me,
Okay.
despite having it previous. Come on, 24 to hit.
24 will hit.
Yay! That takes 10, and then I can attack again.
Okay. Yes, you can.
18 to hit.
18 hits again.
Woo, okay,
Yes.
and then he takes another 5.
Okay. All right. So Bimbly starts just hacking away, finally carving this guy up a little bit. Is that your turn, Bimbly?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We get back to the top of the order. This time, however, the ooze, you see it convulsing and sort of like trying to muster up whatever essence it previously used. I have to roll a recharge for it. And I have failed to do so.
Thank God.
Oh. There is a mechanic that if you trigger it, it instantly gets it back.
Good to know.
All right. Doc, your turn.
All right, let's hit this guy. 16 to hit on the nose.
Just hits.
All right, let's try to do a trip attack again with the DC 15 strength save.
Okay. Unfortunately, he saves again.
I hate you.
He's got a nice fat strength check.
I'm not trying again. Twice is enough.
Does good damage. Oh.
It's an extra D8 to add for now. 16 piercing damage.
Okay.
I'll swing again. A 14 to miss.
Yes, unfortunately, it is a miss. Is that everything you can do, Thok?
I'll action surge actually.
Okay. And you guys get those back on short rest?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's another miss with a 14 again.
Oof.
Ooh.
There we go. That's better. 21 to hit.
That'll definitely hit. The war pick keeps coming. Tried to skip a few syllables there.
It's okay. 11 piercing damage on that one.
Okay. All right. It's not looking great, but to be fair, this creature wasn't looking great when it emerged, so it's pretty hard to tell how it's doing. But you guys are making progress.
Okay.
All right. Ren, it is your turn.
Okay, I've got a pretty good line of sight here, so I'm gonna try to send 3 scorching rays. Can I launch one at the cocoon to see what happens?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Just let me know which one's which.
All right.
They have different ACs.
Okay, so one is a 9, one is a 25, and one is a 8.
Okay.
I'll put the 9 to the cocoon and the other 2 creature.
Okay. So the creature does have a miss and a hit, and the cocoon
Okay.
does take the hit.
Hey! Guess paid off.
Yeah. As the scorching ray lances through the cocoon, it deflates for a moment, and then you see this sort of infernal energy and light blossom from within it, sort of shining out, and you see it instantly recharge its poison attack.
I was gonna say, I bet that's the.
Fire seals it.
I thought that was the fucking. I was like, I bet this is the mechanic.
You guys all missed it last turn. The fire blade missed, the fire bolt missed, and then you couldn't scorch it. It was like you guys had so much fire you're trying to hit this thing with.
Wow.
It was really, really fortunate you missed, but you do know the trigger now.
Okay.
Roll your damage.
It's 9 total.
Okay. All right. Ren, that ends your turn, right?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. I was moving
Just
on.
seeing the creature, I'm just gonna like do this now.
Okay. Ren begins to cower slightly.
Sorry.
You hear a horrifying shriek, and the creature rears back, and pseudopods begin flying out once more. However, first it's going to attempt to hit Bimbly, this time with its arm. Bimbly, that is a 21 to hit.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. You will take 9 piercing damage.
Mm-hmm.
And 8 poison damage, which will be reduced to 4 since you are resistant.
Nice.
Now the pseudopods come flying. Thok, it's a miss.
Can I riposte on that mist before you go any further?
Absolutely.
Oh, thank you. 25 to hit.
Okay.
For
Shit.
I want to see if I need to add a superiority die to that. Yes.
Okay.
So 2 6s. That is 12, 19 piercing damage.
Okay. Well struck. As you just juke out of the way of the first pseudopod, skewer it with the war pick, but the next comes and it's going to catch you right in the chest. The creature is not yet dead, but it's not looking great.
Is it when he does his little pseudopod things, can I use Sentinel since it's...
You may, yes. I was going to remind you after that.
Yep.
Since
I shot her a
just
message.
reminded me. Okay.
What does that do?
Of course.
If they attack anybody else and I'm within 5 feet, I get to make a reaction attack. 25, that's an at 20 to hit.
Nat 20, roll your damage, roll damage twice, and then add your modifier.
Okay.
Although I guess roll 20 is probably telling you.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
It's 9 plus 6 damage. That's 15.
50? Yeah. Okay. The creature has... five health left. It is literally lurching over and leaning on its side. However, it's still going to get to make its last attacks.
Poop.
You take 7 piercing damage.
I still stand. At 3 HP.
Another 21 to hit. You take 9 piercing damage.
Alright,
Oh,
now I'm down.
It only has 1 pseudopod attack left, and this time it's going to send it right towards you, Kevin, as you're the one person that hasn't attacked yet. 21 to hit again. 8 piercing damage. As the pseudopod connects with your fur and sort of, you can feel like it's almost like there's teeth on the end. It's just like grabbing you and tearing into your flesh. That will end its turn. Kevin, it is your turn.
I'm gonna get him.
That's bite or slash?
I'm gonna do either or. I'm gonna do them both. So.
All right. We'll just
Let me smack him first. Let me smack him first. So I don't have to put his
Yeah, go with the
nasty self in my mouth.
That's yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's a 19 to hit.
That will hit.
He said what he said.
I said.
Yes, he did.
I said it. And that is. +5 is 14 damage on
All right.
he swipes.
All right. Kevin lunges forward in bear form, lacerating the side of the creature, literally tearing the arm off of the beast, leaving behind just like sticky. It's like hot cheese melted out of a sub. It's just like, oh, there goes my book. That must be the end of the combat.
It's like fondue, but better tasting.
I'm just working fondue into the game for you.
Everything's about fondue right now.
This time, though, you dipped your hand into
I
it.
know.
All right. However, Seth, we're going to go to you really quickly. Tell me where you're attempting to go. You are halfway down the street. The creature doesn't appear to see you, but he is still sensing you passively. So there will be a DC for you to beat should you wish to escape him for good.
Okay. How far away is he from the fire?
He's approaching it, but he's not like walking into it.
Okay, so he's probably like 10, 15 feet away.
Yeah. We'll say you're 20 feet away from the cocoon, and then that's in the center of the street, and beyond that is another 15 feet where he is, and then the bonfire is 10 feet beyond him.
Okay. Then I will just... I'll just make the DC, whatever you need me to do.
Okay, are you just trying to stealthily run through pass through the street, out the alley and down the street?
Yeah.
Okay, just to make it another stealth check.
Sure. It's a 3.
All right. The creature doesn't notice you, but the cocoon lights up, and it emits this strange blast of poisonous energy. Seth, I need a constitution check as you begin sprinting down the street.
It's a constitution check.
Well, saving throw.
Save. That is a 15.
All right, you only take half damage.
Okay.
It's 11 poison damage. As I believe DC 15, the book is closed, but I believe the DC was 15.
Yeah, it
so
was.
You just barely make it. How much health did you have?
After my long rest, 22.
That was the max. You would have, if you had failed that save, if you had rolled one less, you just would have been put unconscious.
Yeah.
Okay.
Got him.
All right. Yep.
I am ever ending. I am invincible.
Ever ending is a good word for Scott.
Yeah.
Constantly.
Actually.
Ever ending.
All right. Back to the other party. As you guys have slain this beast, the cocoon is still lit up red and angry.
Yeah.
And it is going to explode in one more turn. Bimbly, it is your turn.
Can I, like...
Run away?
You...
we can do.
Yeah,
Oh shoot, Thok is still laying down.
Yeah. That's why
I wasn't
I'm like,
gonna say, I was gonna let you guys figure that one out on your own.
Is it possible that I can kind of just, like, get between wherever the hell... Actually, no, how heavy is Thok? I can probably pick him up.
Thok's a few hundred pounds. You would be able to pick him up and move him. However, it will be a strength check to pick him up, and then you'll only have half of your movement speed.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm just going to consider it like a grapple.
Could it be, since we're out of combat, could it be a, or are we out of combat? It's on the next.
It's on
the
initiative.
Okay.
So Bimbly is the only one that's going to get to act before the lair action takes place.
Okay.
Yikes.
I was gonna see if I could assist.
Yeah, no, I'll try and strength check to pick him up.
Okay. Make your strength athletics check.
Better.
The DC won't be terribly high. I mean, you're just picking up dead weight. You're not, like, no one's resisting you.
I got an 8.
Like, you rolled an 8, or that's 8 with modifiers?
No, that's 8 with modifiers.
You are confident that you have your arms under Thok's shoulders and you can drag him.
Alright, well, how about this? I'm just gonna, I'm gonna hunker down between Thok and the thingy that's currently glowing, and use shield and my actual shield. I don't know if those are two separate things.
Okay. So Bimbly will interpose himself between Thok and the destructive cocoon. So, for various reasons, this isn't an actual mechanic in the game. However, I do take into account ACs of people standing in between objects. So instead of calling for a saving throw, I am going to give it a spell attack, and I will add 4 to his
For the
AC.
cover?
Yeah, for the cover. So I'll give him full cover. Since you're large, you're hunkered over him. Now, Thok, what is your AC? 18. And is that with a shield?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to make it 16 because you're not actively protecting yourself with a shield.
Gotcha.
So it will be a AC 20. And the blast goes. Ren, you are out of the range. This time it's kind of like poison and fire. And I'm going to say it likely will auto hit you, Bimbly, as you are acting as like cover. You're not, you're
Even
not
if I'm using a spell?
Okay, no, I'll roll it for both of you. What's your AC with the spell?
With the spell, it is 22.
Okay. Actually, can I roll this on camera? I bet I can.
Just throw it onto the battle map.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Knock us all off.
I like that.
Can't really.
That looks like one number on the top.
I don't.
It looks like a
Single
6.
digits.
What is it?
It's Can get him, boy.
With his +8, he still does not manage to hit you. The attack washes over the party, not harming anyone, even though well played. I will give you guys any time if you put yourself as a sacrifice. Well done. Combat is over. I'm going to end the share.
Yep.
Now. Okay.
Goodness
well done,
gracious. What a
little
turd. little pseudopod flipping little mega turd out there. Poisoning people all willy-nilly.
Okay.
Can I come running forward and sing, "No fire! No fire! Don't use fire!"
Yeah, absolutely. However, after that fiery blast, the cocoon is sort of deflated, and it's like a puddle almost. All right. So, the party has succeeded. Seth, you did manage to narrowly escape your very close fate. Unconscious in the streets once again.
Yeah.
So we are going to start with the party. We're going to take them over. They're headed towards the Joint Regiment. And Seth, are you continuing towards the Temple of Mask?
Yeah. I mean, so long as the pod and the thing are not like hindering me from doing so.
It appears to be mesmerized by your flames.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go head that way then.
Okay. All right. So, the party does indeed head toward the joint compound, basically where the two orders of militia are, the Campford and Waterford estates. Those are the two noble homes, so they each supply a militia, and they sort of share that building that you've passed, and it's connected by that breezeway. You've seen the guards sort of staring at each other when you pass it by, and you have to sort of wind your way there. It takes a little bit of time because, as of now, there's sort of carnage in the streets. So you sort of wind around. There are a couple instances where people have managed to slay that creature, where like big groups of militia were able to kill it. And in some cases, it looks like people had managed to trap it in buildings and such, and you can hear it like rambling about and like tearing down cabinetry, and you can hear the pseudopods firing off with their sickly, but you do make it to the joint compound, the joint regiment building, and most of the militiamen are dispatched. It appears that it's sort of a skeleton crew operating here. And you do see Caden in the breezeway speaking with Victor Atwal.
Do I need to make, just to not to ruin the scene, do I need to make death saves or anything here?
I would, no, I'm assuming your party stabilized you. You could request healing if you'd like.
No, I could be at 1 HP for now, it's fine. Okay, I'll I'll approach Caden.
Okay. The party bloodily approaches the sergeant. However, they're very aware of what's happening in the city, so they probably understand your predicament. Caden looks you up and down. He says, "Looks like you made it."
Just barely. Come with unfortunate news, however.
What's that?
I'll kind of like reach into my belt and pull out the severed head.
You had his sister's head on your belt?
Yeah, we're also supposed to put on fighting. How do you wield a shield?
I'm just glad you were honest about this moment. You take half of his sister's severed head out of your belt. And now, mind you, you've been fighting, and her face to begin with wasn't really well held together. So at this point, it's really just a mess of skull and flesh. And you just sort of hold it out. And Sergeant Caden says, "Whoa, what's this?"
It was the head of your sister. She had been in one of those cocoons. I don't know if you had seen them on the street.
No, that's not possible. She was fine last night. I saw her myself. Your friend Seth. He must have found her and brought her back. She came here. I saw her.
Well, Seth did say, "I'm sorry."
How long? But she was just fine, like 10 hours ago. Where did you find her?
In the Inventors Guild. We'd gone through a portal, and we stumbled upon one of those cocoons.
I don't understand. You mean to tell me my sister, instead of going home last night, went to the Inventors Guild, caught a portal, and got turned into goop?
Suffice to say, yes.
In the span of half a day.
If she was ever here.
No. Yeah.
Well, Thok, you may roll a persuasion check if you'd like.
Sure.
It would be deception because technically it's not the truth, but you do believe it to be the truth. So, and he will make an insight check.
Well, that's a natural 1, so 5 with my modifier.
Sergeant Caden does not believe you.
No, I saw her. She was fine. How did this happen? You're telling me this is her? I need more proof than this.
I can't offer any more. Fortunately, it was all I was able to gather and bring with me.
Well, give it to me. I'll see if the clerics can do anything with it, I guess.
We can give you all the information we have. We think the cavern that we were in is outside the city in that crevice. We closed off the portal to prevent a type of ooze creature from following us, but this is all we know.
I just don't understand how she could have gotten there. She was fine last night. By all accounts, something like this should have taken more time to happen to her. I was assured that she was safe last night. And
did Seth come here last night?
No, I didn't see him. Just my sister.
I'll just look at the rest of the party.
I just shrug.
But that's weird because he told us he came here and spoke with you.
The next time I see your friend, I'm gonna draw a line, and you all are gonna need to decide where you stand on that.
When you draw that line, remember I tried to bring peace.
I'll remember it if you do.
And he storms off back into the building with what you have told him is half of his sister's severed head.
Careful, it blinks sometimes.
Sergeant Caden stops in the doorway, looks down, and carries on into the building in silence.
Well, this did not go nearly as well as I had hoped.
Well, Thok, I don't really know what you were expecting, presenting a guy his severed head of his sister.
He didn't seem like he enjoyed that part.
No, I thought it would just bring him closure at least, maybe some form of acceptance.
Brought him a head.
Yes, it did, Kevin. Yes, it did. Come, let us go to the Temple of Mask.
Before you leave, Victor Atwall, the portly, balding gentleman in fine clothing, does catch your eye
You mean
and
Kristoff?
smile at you, Thok.
I'm just kidding.
No, this is Victor Atwall. You two giggling. He does catch your eye, Thok, but he doesn't really move to say anything. He did tell you to come find him if you were able to gain entry to the city.
I walk over to him.
Thok, it is a pleasure to see you again.
I can't say the feeling is mutual.
I assume that the fact that you are standing here before me means that you were able to save the child.
Temporarily, so we're going to go find him now.
Then surely you understand the nature of his surrogate mother.
We know that she can write and read in Dumai. What else do you have?
Thok, I am very disappointed in you. I thought from a bounty hunter of your caliber, you would have figured it out by now.
Figured what out?
Tatia Mona. The agent sent to the city, the Dumai known as Tainted Morn. They are one and the same.
She is a Dumai.
Indeed. She has brought sickness to this place. You should have slain her when you found her.
Do you know what her intent is?
I do not bother myself with the intent of these creatures. I just put them down. That is what I hired you to do with Terror Burn.
It will be so in time.
Let us hope. If there is one Dumai here, there are many.
Naturally, just hide in plain sight, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, yes. I will leave you for now. You can find me here.
Will do, sir.
All right. So, what would the party like to do?
Ren's freaking out. Like, there's just too much to think about with all these creatures coming in the city, and like, well, I'll act it out. Like, there's just a mix. We could run, we could stay. Everything's in danger. Nothing is safe. I don't know where to go. And I'm just gonna hyperventilate a little bit.
We're faced with a very serious problem. I do not know if the creature beyond the walls is from Tatia Mona's creation or not. It does seem tied to it. Things react to her emotions.
It has to have been from the Rune Master. He is the one who spoke its name.
It may have helped. Dumai are deceptive by nature, in my experience. Perhaps she influenced the Rune Master.
Who's the Rune Master?
The astrologist.
Solomon Crux.
Ah.
Yes, perhaps she had won him over, and he was her agent in the matter.
All right. Where would you guys like to head next as we get back to Seth?
We think should we still go to the Temple of Mask?
I don't even think we can make it there with all these creatures. We were nearly wiped out by one of them.
Hunkering down wouldn't be the worst idea. I am not doing so well.
Thok, you're a brave warrior, but you nearly died back there. A single swipe and one of us could be dead. It's as much as I want to see Tef, I just don't think we can make it there. It's not worth it.
We can rest here then, gather our strength.
And Seth is in danger back at the house. I'm not sure. At the inn where he went to sleep. I'm not sure what things are like there.
Well, he says he cannot die, so perhaps it's best not to worry about him.
YOLO.
There seems to be some stables here. We could rest a moment.
Okay. So the party's in agreement. Are you just doing a short rest again, or are you taking a long rest? It is still noon-ish.
I wonder if it might be safer to get inside the protected magic of the Inventors Guild.
You could make it back there.
I mean, it seems like the closest to like a barricade that there exists in the city. Or we could try to go upwards and gain entrance to the higher levels of the city as quick as possible. But I'm not sure if more of these creatures haven't made their way up there yet either.
Did we get a gauge of how many were coming in? I mean, the one that we interacted with and we saw a few, does it seem like they're just raining down upon the city?
Well, 20 soldiers went out.
Oof.
However, you didn't hear 20 whistling through the air. You can roll a history check if you'd like to try and remember how many you saw in your vicinity.
Yeah, I'm feeling historical.
Okay.
Can someone try and help him with that?
Mind meld. I'll let you each roll once, as it would be probably challenging to put your
Might
heads
go with
together
the
on
eye
it.
roll, not looking good.
7.
Kevin got a 13.
Okay.
25.
Okay. Bimbley?
15.
15. All right. So Bimbley and Kevin, you think somewhere between 8 and 12. Ren, you believe 9. On the dot. You're very confident in it. And
Okay.
you've slain one.
And we saw another few trapped.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you guys all sort of just trying to think over the moment. You realize that, they weren't sent to one spot in the city. They were all over the place.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
So some of us are assuming a hypertrophy rep range, and then and then Bryce is like, nope, exactly this one.
Yeah. 9 reps.
Hey,
No
buddy.
more, no less.
More no less.
Come on.
We don't know what waits for us at the Temple of Mask. Even if Tef is there, is he being held there against his will? Is he just hanging out on a couch, or just, we don't know what we're heading into, and I don't think we're in a position to head there.
I agree.
As much as Seth rubs us the wrong way, we should check to make sure he's okay.
Okay.
All right. So are you guys deciding to head north?
Can we kind of stick to the shadows and just try to, stealth our way back?
Yeah. So, in fact, as you guys are waiting here, you pick up an argument that you're hearing towards the northerly side of the building. You hear a man arguing vehemently with a guard, and what's being said, it appears that someone was trying to leave the city, and you hear someone say something like, if you don't let us out, we're going to find another way out, or we're going to try another gate. You have to let us out. We have to get this cargo out of the city. And if you choose to, you can go over and take a look, and it does appear that there's 4 draft horses pulling a carriage, and that carriage, in the back, there's barrels that are filled to the brim, but they're very well sealed. You can't see what's inside them. There's 2 people on the front, sitting on the carriage, arguing with the guard that's standing down below. And the guard says, I can't let you out. We've destroyed the gate. We cut the line on the barrow gate. I simply cannot let you out. And the man atop is... Actually, I think I might have a description. Tall, dark-haired, handsome. That was not a great description, Gabe. Okay.
Tall, dark, and handsome.
Tall, dark, and handsome. He has purple eyes. He has a hat that's sort of wide-brimmed, but it's all black. He's got a very nice coat tail jacket on. Not like finery, but like a duster. Like you can tell he doesn't do work typically by the looks of him. So it's odd that this guy is running this carriage. And the woman sitting next to him, she is dressed almost like a swashbuckler. She's got leather boots, sort of a hardened leather cuirass, sword at her hip, bow on her back. Like she appears to be very capable with the weapon. She has a very grim, set look to her face. And the 2 of them simply start to reorganize the direction that they're heading, and they slowly pull the carriage back out, hearing that they've been denied by the guard. And it looks like they're just going to take to the streets and head north.
Can I yell out to them?
Absolutely. What would you like to yell?
Excuse me, you cartmen. Can we have a ride?
The very well-dressed, tall, dark, and handsome man turns to you, fixes you with a purple gleamed look, and says, well, I'll be. I suppose I could let you on. We're going to be heading north. Back to the mercantile district. I don't really care what's in our way. You'd be welcome to ride in the back. If you got a sure grip and you ain't looking to see what's in my cargo.
That is fine.
All right. So it's up to the party. You can either choose to ride with these fine folk that are totally up on board.
Kevin climbs in.
Kevin's in. Or you can stealth. Or you could mix and match.
I'm hopping on.
Okay. Ren.
I have many questions, but my fear of death is high right now, so I'm hopping in.
Okay. Bimbley?
Are they just gonna be going at like a walking pace, it seems? Like they're just trotting up? Or
they're hauling ass.
or are they hauling ass?
You have a distinct vibe that they will be hauling ass to attempt to avoid dying.
Yeah.
I'll very gingerly try and step up into the wagon, I guess.
Yeah, it's a sturdy wagon.
Okay, that's good.
It's made for cargo, and the cargo's not full. Like the barrels are lined on the sides, but there's a spot, like an aisle in the center, that you guys can all sort of fit yourselves into. But it is a snug fit. And you do your best to hold on, and he leans over and he says, if you fall out, we ain't coming back.
Pimpley just gives a thumbs up.
All right. We will switch back to Seth.
With 3 fingers.
I was about to try and do it with my hand. I thought I would probably flip off everyone. So anyway, Seth, you are in the courtyard before the Temple of Mask. It looks like a couple more of those creatures had landed here and were taken care of.
Okay.
You're not entirely sure by what unless you investigate. The courtyard is empty, and you can head to the north of it. Are you heading directly for the Temple of Mask?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I have a description. All right, the monstrous temple was the only structure to touch all 3 tiers of the city Agrevorn. The base, carved directly into the mountain wall, looked to be pure plinths of obsidian that stretch upward until it had to be built back into the next smaller tier, where the architecture then changed. The building looked almost like the top of a cathedral organ with those layered pipes that soar upward in the foothills, which is the segment that you're in. And before the gates, before the entrance to the temple, there is a series of wrought iron gates and fencing that wind back and forth, kind of as though there would be a great queue of people waiting to get in. But the district still appears to be a ghost town. No one appears to be waiting. And the entrance to the temple is just yawned open. It's not necessarily inviting, more like open to the curious.
Okay. Well, I'm not doing so hot, so I'm going to kind of tiptoe and peek my head in to see if I safely navigate.
Okay, make a stealth check for me.
Sure.
As you lean your head into the Temple of Mask. Now, just to bear in mind, the doors are ajar, like they're opened inward, but they're these massive stone black doors, and like the archway is maybe 30 feet above your head, so you're this tiny little guy peeking in.
It's a 4.
Okay. So you fall on your face as you attempt to peek into the Temple of Mask. Fortunately, the atrium of the temple sports rows of refugees seated against the obsidian walls. Several attendees appear to be moving back and forth between the pews and altars that are deeper in, and they are lighting purple flames on ever-burning candles. They are garbed in pure black, some robed, others in breeches and tunics, and they sport white, featureless masks. An aisle runs up the center of the space, revealing a large plinth that was lined with a curtain of deep velvet. They also move about to the displaced folk, and they appear to be handing out bowls of soup.
Okay. I will just kind of walk in then. Okay. Take in my surroundings.
Mm-hmm.
Do I see Fina or Teresa?
Teresa Saffron is at the far end, seated at an altar, watching you.
Okay. Do I see Tefan?
Make a perception check.
Sure. That's a 10.
Okay. You don't see Seth. I'm sorry. You don't see Tef anywhere quickly, but you don't have like a great chance to really go through things. This is like you're just giving an idle glance.
Okay.
But you just sort of keep going inward. You are now. There's like a lot of refugees in here, and they're just lining the walls, and they're lining the pews, and you've got attendants moving about, handing out bowls of soup. If you would like, you can search more actively.
Okay.
For Tef among them, and we'll see what happens.
If I'm just gonna do the good stuff check, I'll just head up to Teresa, sit next to her.
Okay. She's very nonchalant as you ease yourself down beside her on the stone bench.
Okay. Hello, Fina.
Hello, Seth.
So, about last night.
What about it?
I have to ask you, do you know Gilded Frost?
You should know better than to ask that question. I found it in my best interest to work with him.
Probably a wise choice. He smote me down.
I prefer to stay unsmitten. Is that how? I don't think that's how you say that, but anyway.
Do you know anything about the Black Eagle?
What did you say?
The Black Eagle?
I thought you said black people.
And that's where the session ends.
And bands. Good talk, guys. All right. Well, we'll see ya maybe in 30 days, maybe never. Who knows? And can't. Yeah, all right. JK.
She leans in to you, Seth, and she says, I believe that is a little bit out of my wheelhouse. I cannot say that I have heard of it.
Okay, roll insight.
You may.
The 6.
You feel pretty good about the words she's saying at you.
Okay. I'll just kind of say, I'm sorry. I met Gilded Frost in, was it Hedge Maze, right?
In the Hedge Maze, yes,
Yeah,
and also the Gloaming.
Yeah, I met him in the Gloaming in the Hedge Maze, but the Head Mage bore my mark. I'm still trying to find answers. You just seem like the person to go to.
I am afraid I was just a middleman in this.
Well, I have to bring Tef to your master. Do you know where he is?
My master is Mask. And I am not entirely certain where he is.
I mean, to bring him Gilded Frost.
I will not help you in that endeavor.
And why not? You're working with him. Why not help him?
I was forced to help him, bring you to him. The same way you are likely forced to bring Tef to him.
Forced how?
How were you forced?
Who does he have that you know?
He does not have anyone. He has knowledge of someone. I cannot let it get into the wrong hands. I am so close, you do not even know. So close.
Close to what, might I ask?
To bringing Mask back.
Do I know anything about Mask?
Make a religion check. It would be relatively common knowledge.
Yeah, Jim Carrey and Cameron Diaz, I'm pretty sure.
Green face.
It's a great flick.
Surprisingly saucy movie if you go back and watch it.
I haven't seen it.
Cuban Pete.
17.
17, okay, yeah. You know that Mask is... Now, I've... Just for general knowledge of the campaign, we have maintained Faerunian gods, despite the fact that this campaign does not take place in Faerun. So there is a little bit of a multiverse thing going on, which I have alluded to with tears in the sky, and you guys know that the Rings of Stars is an effect from Kazeth the Chaos Hound from our previous campaign. However, that's just general knowledge. The Rings of Stars sort of come up when he's referenced. So Mask, back in Faerun, was early on in the pantheon of gods. He was the god of trickery and other such subterfuges, not necessarily strictly evil, but certainly not good, more chaotic. And during the time of troubles, which we referenced pretty heavily in the previous campaign, the gods were grounded as mortals. And after a time, Mask got a little bit mixed up with Cyril, the god of murder, and through a few circumstances was pronounced dead in the pantheon. You would need to probably seek someone out to find more specific details on that, Seth / Scott.
All right.
But Teresa may be willing to speak with you about his circumstances during that time, if you want to seek more information.
Yeah, sure. I'll just kind of say, I find great interest in other religions that are not mine. Being a religious man myself, ex-cultist, new cult leader of the new free world. Please would you enlighten me with the story of Mask? This temple is very grand and in his honor, is it not?
It is. It seems you wear many hats for a man who does not think far enough ahead to mimic the voice of the person he is trying to masquerade as.
It was a very quick decision. It was either that or go to prison.
Fair enough. All right. My god Mask. He has been in a place of powerlessness for some time. We do believe that he can be brought back. During the time of troubles, he was able to disguise himself as a blade named Godsbane. During that time, he was wielded by someone. It is important to note that he is capable of great deception, and I do not believe him dead.
And who is he wielded by?
I believe Cyric, but I would have to look that up again.
Okay. Interesting. Whoa.
It is possible, though, that there are objects in this realm that can contain and partition human souls.
Almost like a phylactery.
Similar, yes. More like a curse.
And so what I'm gathering is you're in league with Gilded Frost to bring back this god.
I am in league with Gilded Frost so that he does not ruin my plans to bring back this god.
Well, Gilded Frost came to my cult with the help of Ruth Peppercorn, destroyed everything I knew. My cult, the place I lived, everything he took.
I'm afraid I do not know this Ruth Peppercorn.
Good.
I'm sorry. Gilded Frost is a shit human being or creature, whatever he is. You cannot trust such a thing. He will ruin everything he touches.
I will not ever trust him, but mark my words, I will smite him down one day.
Very well, but you have a decision to make.
I'm sorry,
Do you appease him? In the meanwhile?
Unfortunately, he has my father in his clutches, or so he says.
Well?
However, the boy is gifted.
I will not stop you, but I will not help you.
Fair enough. I thank you for your time.
Of course.
But I ask one thing before I go. Would you be able to teach me how to mimic other people's voices?
Perhaps in a time where the city is not under assault?
Fair enough. The end is coming through the walls. I was put on this earth to welcome the new world. But if this is not the end of the world, I will be back.
Very well. I look forward to seeing you again. New world or not.
And might I say thank you for helping me. Fina, I half wink. Because
You try and close your eye, but you can't.
Yeah.
I got you. Okay. She gives you like a cringy half smile in return and tries to like shoo you away.
All right. If I don't see Tef, I'll probably just post up and take a long.
No, you can find Tef, and you do, but he's like mixed in with refugees and folk. He just like you didn't catch him on your first scan through.
Okay.
He's like sitting in the corner drinking a bowl of soup.
Okay. I'll go up to him then. I'll say, "My boy, you survived.
Of course I did.
How have you been?
Can't complain. The soup's actually pretty good. You should have some. It's real broth.
You know what? I will get some soup and I'll sit down with you. How would you like that?
I'd love that.
All right, I'll do that then.
Okay. So you grab some soup, you come back and sit down next to him.
Have you seen your mother lately?
No, not since I got back in the building. Or, I'm sorry, the city. I don't think she made it in.
She did. I saw her.
Where is she?
She's in a hedge maze.
Oh.
She's
outside.
Hiding. Yes.
All right. Make
She's
a deception.
Yeah.
Check.
$26.
We need to go see her then. We have to find her. I have to see her. And he like all but throws his bowl of soup to the side.
She's not going anywhere.
No. I have to. She made it back. I want to see her now.
All right, I'm gonna down the health potion I got from earlier. Say very well.
Okay.
But you need to be quiet. Stick close to me.
Of course, yeah.
Do you know what's happening out in the walls? The city's under siege by boogermen.
That sounds really gross.
Very strong.
Okay.
But come on.
But they're made of book. Okay, I'm coming.
All right.
And he does, run with you.
Okay.
As you head back out into the courtyard, through the winding maze, very annoyingly, and back out, and you stand before the hedge maze. This time, Scoot, the Black Eagle has returned to the column, like the archway.
Okay.
You saw it the night before, but then it wasn't there in the morning after, and that was not an accident.
Can I make like investigation or arcana check to see why this is just disappearing and reappearing random time?
I would just assume that it perhaps is a signal to the person that it wants to signal to that what he is seeking lies within. Seems to be like a magical calling card.
Okay. Come this way. She's right over here, around the corner.
Okay. And he races right into the hedge maze. Do you go with him?
Yes.
Okay. So, the two of you walk into the hedge maze, and standing before the fountain is Gilded Frost. This time, however, in one hand he is holding the flail, that large, chained sort of free-flowing mace, and it's just like the base of it is like toppled over. It's just massive, and it's sitting on the earth, sort of sunken into the earth itself. And in his other hand, he's holding a long black blade. And previously, he had something on his back, but it was pretty well covered. Mm-hmm. And this time, the coverings are off of it. And you, looking at the blade, you can see that running down the length of the blade itself are a series of these etched runic etchings.
Okay.
And they appear to be in that Dumai language.
Okay. From the story I was told, does that seem to be the sword that Mask is in?
That would be a real leap.
Okay. I actually wanted to try something too. If I can see far enough, can I actually cast Comprehend Languages to see if I can read the runing? Like, just...
Sure.
Yeah, I'll just cast it at level 1.
Okay.
See if I could read it.
All right. So you cast the spell. Tef freezes in the archway, by the way.
Okay.
And he turns immediately to try and run. And as soon as he turns, the walkway, just as it happened with you, that archway has just filled in with the shrubs, with the hedging, and he simply can't escape. And you hear him like pulling at the leaves and vines, and just like muttering, "No! I have so much work to do here." Gilded Frost turns, wielding both of his weapons, and he says,
"I wasn't sure if you would follow through, Seth."
I never leave a task undone.
Your father.
I want to see him.
Your father?
Yes.
Very well. He approaches you, dragging the flail behind him. The runes on the blade, you do make them out briefly. They don't transform into any language that you can sense or feel. It's more like, I'm sorry, you can't read them. Instead, you sense and feel them.
Okay.
The first of which is like a biting cold. The next is the sting of pain, and then death. And it's just like this wave of awful feelings just washing over you. And it actually gets to the point where make a Constitution saving throw to see if you can maintain like the concentration on your spell.
Sure. That's 12.
Okay, you do, but just barely. Like you're barely hanging on, and you're uncomfortable with the fact. He does instead. He says, "Look, go stare into the fountain. The scrying spell on it will show you your father."
Okay, I'll do so.
Okay. You go in, as you look over into the dark waters below, you see, in fact, an archaeological site. Your father has been just walking in circles in this room as though he's been bewitched.
Okay.
Just circles. And then as soon as you hear behind you, "It's time to go home, Tef," he stops walking in circles.
Okay.
And he looks around as though he's been very confused. And by the time you turn around, Tef and Gilded Frost are gone. The archway has reopened, and silence reigns. And that is where we will end tonight's session.
Oh, man.
Oh.
Did a bad thing.
Scott giving away little kids, you dingus. What the heck?
You know, actually, my character flaw is once I pick a goal, I'm obsessed with it. So, he lost my dad.
All right.
Damn.